I've got some exciting news, and that's that I recently switched podcast hosts to Anchor. Now, if you don't know what a host is, it's what distributes your podcast, which means it becomes available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Now, the best part is it gives you all the creation tools to make your podcast. So if you need to edit it, if you need to record it, you can do that all in one place from your phone or computer. Another awesome thing is it's free. I was actually paying to host my podcast before, but now I can host it for free. And you can start making money immediately by recording an ad just like this one. You don't have to wait till you get a certain amount of listeners. Now, if you're like, that sounds awesome, I want to create my own podcast, then make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. This is the Daily Steps Towards Success podcast. I'm Kayla Celeste. If you're looking for a daily podcast to help you accomplish your dreams, you're in the right place. So let's take the daily steps towards success together. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about how our brains love to conserve energy. Now, this is a very helpful thing to know because our brains are always going to want to do what's easy. Our brains are always going to want to do what is more efficient. Our brains are always going to want to do nothing over something. And so what I want you to really think about is knowing the fact that our brains love to conserve energy. How does this help you when it comes to getting things done? So for instance, you may be sitting down to get things done and your brain's telling you, I don't feel like it. So instead of believing the thought, I don't feel like it, therefore I can't do it, knowing the information that our brains love to conserve energy, it's like, oh, of course you're bringing that thought to the table. Of course you don't feel like doing it because you'd rather conserve energy. And when you just start thinking about, of course this is happening, and it really starts to make sense, it seems less believable. So it becomes, our brain isn't telling us we don't feel like it because we shouldn't do it. Our brain's telling us we don't feel like it so that it tries to not get us to do the thing. So it becomes this thing where you're starting to watch what your brain's doing and start noticing, oh, I don't have to follow this. Oh, I don't have to actually act this out. Oh, this isn't actually the truth. Like, even if I don't feel like it, I can do it. I do it all the time. And so that's the kind of things that we end up getting from the knowledge of our brains love to conserve energy. I want you to be on to what your brain is telling you. What I like to think about is like, oh, my brain's really sneaky. Like, if I don't feel like it doesn't work, it offers up another option. And I'm like, oh, that's so sneaky, right? Like, it keeps trying to get me to not take the action. And so it becomes kind of like a little fun game where it's like, oh, what are you trying this time? That's so sneaky. That's so interesting. So I want you to think about that when it comes to sitting down, getting things done, and your brain trying to take you off that course. And what happens is you really start to expect it, where you're like, okay, I know that I'm going to plan to record my podcast, and every time my brain's going to give me options as to why I shouldn't do it. But that's not a problem because I know that it's just trying to conserve energy. Thank you for listening to the Daily Steps Towards Success podcast. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. After all, we're in this together, one step at a time.